Colorado's good. Colorado's team is good. I'd say Texas went in there and they won that game. I wouldn't say Bama just lost. Brock Purdy is legit. He's legit. Plain and simple. Oklahoma is legit, folks. Boomer Sooner. They might be here to stack. The Chargers, right? They got all the pieces, but they're not moving the right ways. I don't know. They have all those big names, and they can't stop a park car. He looked like dog shit out there yesterday. He's the reason we lost our coins. Josh Allen's trying to do too much. He got too cute. He really did. He got too cute. It is Russell Wilson and the Broncos. Guys, why were we acting this offseason like they were just going to be good after what we saw last year? What was going to change? All their receivers are hurt. Anyway, Russell Wilson's more worried about, what his next PR move is and, signing babies and shaking hands than he is, being a leader of his team. He doesn't even give out his phone number to his teammates. The guy's a bot.
Damn, brand new bag for bro, but I didn't pay for it. I don't like spending that cash because I'm trying to savor it.
What's going on, squad? Happy BTL Wednesday, episode 317 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your co-hosts, Krabs and Javon, presented by Pickett Sports. Chat, hurry up, lock this two-piece in. You got 1 minute. Hurry up, go, go, go. And it's too late. Jake Cave already started. And it's beat. Well, you can lock in Benson, folks. Maybe with a little Josiah Gray strikeouts action, Javon.
Yeah.
A little JoJo Gaze. If you had to take a nap, are you going with JoJo on his strikeouts? People are saying he might be back.
He might be back. If there's a guy that I'm taking for the Nats, it's probably Lane Thomas.
You're going back to the well? Okay.
Yeah, back to the well.
Taking his run? You taking his – okay.
That's all we got.
That's fair. Chat, we tweeted this one out. I hope you guys tailed it. All right. If not, feel free to throw Benson in there, maybe with big Lane Thomas. He's been a GOAT for us all season. Okay, Javon, any takes, any plays in this Reds game starting up here right now?
Yep, going back to him.
Ooh, all right.
Short memory.
That's no fear, chat. That meat is still glued, even after last night's out. But you know what, Javon? Can't win them all. Can't win them all. And we'll do the squad ride recaps. We'll get them over with here, folks. You can't win every squad ride, chat. And yes, it has not been our best week or two. But the best bets were smacking there. People forget, got a little sweep going with Rutledge. Less than 2.5 earned runs. An absolute gem from the kid in his second start. But Javon, we owe the people a winner for today, man. Red Squad Ride ML was never it. And yeah, Kobe, I take the blame there, folks. That's on me. Yeah. I cannot be saying his name when he's in the lineup. But Javon, can you confirm he's not playing today?
Yeah, thankfully you can say it all you want right now because he's not playing today, which is huge.
Matt Waldner is out, folks. He's not playing today, so I can say his name. He's not hitting a nuke. All right, it's going to have to be somebody else taking that bet. But I feel pretty good about the Reds. I don't mind them on the ML starting up right now, chat. Javon's on them. If you need to play for the day games, that could be the one. And we'll get to the Nats game here in a moment. Javon, how about the Nats last night? How about that attitude? Let's talk about it. How about Joey Meneses? Pinch
Oh,
hit, 3-run bomb, the clutchest hitter in baseball. The guy, he's unbelievable. He's hits over 300 with guys and runners in scoring position for the last season and a half. He's not slowing down anytime soon. An absolute clutch AB from Joey Meneses, one of the greatest stories in baseball. Dude's a beast. Came through last night. The Nats respected coins.
yeah. Shout out them. A little clutch.
Sure.
A little clutch late action.
100%. We got free coin coming in, giving out a 5-piece. Let's go free coin. That's my freaking dog, giving out 5 sub-bangs to the community. That's what I'm talking about, folks. 5U whale from free coin. Appreciate that, my man. W's. You know he's in that chili garage deploying those sub-bangs like a beast.
All the way from him. You love
W's. Love it. Javon, let's take a peep at the Reds and their playoff chances here. Looks like they're still only a game out. You've had some serious help from the rest of the National League. But you know what, Javon? You're here, okay? And you're knocking at the door. You're 1 game out. If you would have asked yourself when you locked in that plus 3,000 future, if you'd be okay to be in this position, you would say, without a doubt, yes. Because this is the Reds you're betting on, Javon, not the Dodgers, not the Phillies, not the best teams in baseball, not the Astros. A plus 3,000 bet, and you're walking up to the table, only 1 game out with, I think, 10 games left, Javon. It's going to be a sweat.
Yeah, it's going to be super sweaty. I mean, especially with a lot of these teams having played each other or they are playing each other right now. Like the Giants are not completely out of it, right under the Reds there. But honestly, if they lose today, that's probably a death sentence for the wild card chances. But they're not playing too well. The D-backs are starting to play better. The Cubs are surprisingly playing themselves out of it, which talk about that in a second. But that was pretty shocking to me. And the Marlins are heating up and can't lose. So this is going to be a really weird ending to the season.
Nobody said it was going to be easy. Okay, if it was easy, everybody would be smacking plus 300 bets, plus 3,000 bets. Okay, Javon, it never is. You got them right where you want them. All right,
yeah.
The Marlins will fade off. Let's hope the Cubs do just enough to do what they always do, and that's melt. And let's hope the Reds can sneak right in there. Okay, fingers crossed, chat. The meat is still glued, and the future's still alive. All right?
Yep.
Javon, you want to talk about Blake Snell? Because he
Let's do it.
pretty much just won the Cy Young last night. Has this been one of the most impressive turnarounds you've seen? And I know he's not, an early season guy. He's always been a second half guy in his career. You probably know that from when he was on the Rays. But, man, after that first month, people were counting Blake Snell out. They were saying he was washed. And he's locked in and been probably the best pitcher in baseball if you take out that first month of the season. He's an absolute stud. And he talked about it in the postgame presser, Javon. He's never felt as in tuned with himself as he does this season. Maybe he's knowing how to use that body of his, that lefty arm, which is literally golden, magical. Javon, he seems to be finally dialed in for the first time in his career, and he's been nearly unhittable in his last 129 innings. He's given up 18 earned runs. Are you kidding me? That is bonkers. Guys, think about that. That is nuts. He's given up, 1 run every, 10-ish innings? What a stud. Blake Snell, a friend of the program, friend of Trent's, coming through. Very cool to see him succeed. He's a stud. Go ahead and give him the Cy Young now.
Yeah, he's I would assume he's minus a couple thousand at this point. Because going into the start,
I saw minus 3,000.
Yeah, going into that start, he was minus 900. So he pretty much had it in the bag. And if there was any doubt whatsoever that he was going to get it, that 7-inning no-hit start just secured it.
That'll lock it in.
Absolutely unreal.
And he's about to get that absolute bag in the offseason, too.
Do we agree with them pulling him after 7?
Yeah, he had 100 and something pitches.
You know how Snell is, man. He's not ever, filling up the zone. He's always walking people, pitching around people. I would be very shocked to see that guy pitch a full 9-inning, no-hitter or perfect game. I'd be shocked. He's too wild.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Got to pull him. And to be honest with you, maybe the Padres have a pulse if they win out every game the rest of the season. Javon, it's hysterical. They're on a 5-game win streak. They wait till the end of the season to play well, but mathematically, they're not eliminated. Any chance the Padres sneak in? No, right?
No.
Okay.
Maybe they can make it close. They'll make it cool and get a couple behind. But
yeah,
no.
Let's say Snell wins his second Cy Young and has 5 more years. when he's in Cy Young combo, Hall of Fame. I mean, those are a lot of ifs. Just Baseball Boys / PODP. Make sure you guys follow Just Baseball on Twitch and Twitter, okay? Friends of the program. But Javon, I don't know, man. The guy is so inconsistent. That's a huge if. I mean, yeah, if he puts up seasons like this for the next 5 years, sure. But is that in Blake Snell's repertoire to be this consistently good? I don't know.
Certainly could be.
I don't know. He's definitely in the Book It Hall of Fame. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
He's a stud.
He's in the Hall for sure.
And he's going to get the absolute bag. He'll be the highest paid pitcher in baseball this offseason without a doubt. And he deserves it.
Yeah,
he does. Be. Yep. All right, let's keep moving. Let's keep grooving here, folks. Wanted to show you guys the BTL season-long MLB entry here. Javon, this entry is at the tape. People are starting to talk. There's whispers.
Yeah.
There's riots out in the streets.
Just need to avoid a legacy run here from Jordan in the last week and a half, and we should be all set and good to go.
I mean, if Jordan hits 9 home runs in the last 10 games of the season, you know what, Javon? I'll charge that to the game.
Oh, I'll tip the cap.
Okay. I will tip my cap and go about my day if he does that. If Cal Quantrill throws 2 no-hitters in his last 2 starts of the season, somehow gets that ERA down below a 3.85.
Pretty sure it'd still be over, I think, if he throws 2 no-hitters.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't crunched the numbers. It looks like we got another Philly bang. My goodness, the Braves pitchers are atrocious. We got Cave up at plate right now. We might have to watch that one, Goods, if possible. Let's see if we can sweat out Jake Cave, the GOAT. Krabs is yet to pronounce Quantrill's name right, and I never will. And he doesn't deserve it with how he's pitched this season. Okay? Javon, we'll talk about White Sox and Nats here as we sweat out this at-bat from our guy Jake Cave, the old man who's always up there on Prize Picks and hopefully respects coins. What are your thoughts on Josiah facing the White Sox? Obviously, the Nats came out firing yesterday, had a bunch of guys on base, didn't come through there till late, and Joey came through with that pinch hit home run. But I like the way this Nats team is closing out the season. We've talked about it. The best pick they can get in the draft is 10th, right? So it's not like they're losing or tanking. And although they are pulling up some new guys, some younger faces, new faces, as we get a Jake Cave out, can't make it up. This team continues to fight and play hard and win. And they're playing the anti-fighters, and that's freaking the White Sox, who look like they're trying to lose on purpose. They are the biggest joke, the biggest disappointment. I think I'd rather bet on the Rockies than the White Sox at this point because they are just atrocious. Javon, that line keeps on moving and grooving. It's moved about 15 cents towards the Nats inside opener. We saw Josiah get his start skipped 2 starts ago, which was huge. He needed that because he came out fresh in his next start, and he had 10 Ks. Remember, guys, we took him that game. Any chance you'd be willing to back Josiah on his strikeouts or even Nats out in this spot with that line moving and grooving?
So I'm not against the strikeouts, but like the White Sox haven't been great offensively, but they haven't been striking out nearly as much, which is like weird, especially for a lot of the guys at the top. So like he could certainly go out there and dominate really at any point against the White Sox, but I'd rather throw everything in the equation and just say he's going to have a really good start. And Kopech / maybe we get a little Schulten's appearance and Kopech isn't going as long as they need to. And I do trust them to get to one or both of those guys. So, I mean, I don't believe in Kopech and Schulten's the way they've been pitching down the stretch of the season. And I don't think there's really a need for them to be all that good. So I'll put the bats in there too. I'd rather just back them on the ML.
Okay. Full send on the ML?
Yeah. That'll be my play there.
W's chat. Nats ML. If you need some day game action, I'll be on it. Give me that minus 130. All right, that line keeps on moving and grooving. Honestly, chats, you guys are mentioning these gray squares. I'll tell you another one that piques my interest. It's that 1.5 walk square. If you look at the chart, I mean, he's been a green out gob. He's been walking people left and right until they skipped his start, Javon. And he came out in his last outing. And obviously, they addressed the issues, which were he's nibbling the corners way too much. And he lost some of that confidence he had early in the season when he was filling the zone. Well, in his last outing, he went out there and he filled the zone up and did not walk anybody and pitched great. He's going to do that again today. Same exact recipe. Going against the White Sox, who, Javon, you could tell me how patient they are, but I don't see a world where, they're going to be taking a bazillion pitches. Those guys are trying to make an MLB roster next season. So I would not hate taking Josiah less than 1.5 strikeouts either.
Yeah, I mean, they're certainly not patient. They don't walk the slightest bit, but they also in paying attention, at least I didn't watch that game last night, but I kept up with everything. There's a lot of first pitch swinging on both sides, which is pretty common for, teams who are out of the race, but especially from the White Sox. If you're getting that against Josiah Gray, I assume a lot of guys are going to be geared up on the fastball, trying to hit that early in counts. I don't hate that at all. I don't think he's going to have to nibble around the corners. I think you can just go after these guys.
You got something I could pair it with?
Yeah. I like Gunnar Henderson, total bases today.
Do you?
Yeah. I mean, I think the Orioles, they've been scoring a lot in this series, and I think it continues. But Christian Javier is bad, A, but B, really struggles, especially like in the slugging department against lefties. And he's going to see a lineup that's at the very least, I think 2/3 lefties today. Bobby Witt, goats.
Bobby Witt.
Yeah. But, Gunnar, this is kind of the perfect guy that I want to target in a game where I think the Orioles are going to score plenty of runs. And he is in the leadoff spot, like somebody said, in Chatter. But it's a really good matchup there, too. So that's what I would go with. And that's starting, right after we end?
Yeah. I wanted a day square, so that's perfect. I'm in
There you
for
go.
that. Chad, if you guys missed out, if you don't follow Book at BTL on Twitter, if you missed out on that 2-piece to sweat out for these day games and you got pissed in chat, now you got no excuses because we got a 2-piece for you to lock in right now for the next wave of games. We got Josiah Gray, less than 1.5 walks allowed, and we got Gunnar Henderson, more than 1.5 total bases. I'm in. W's. Bang.
There you go. Yeah,
Just
7
locked it in,
lefties.
folks.
7
All right.
lefties in the lineup. Sure.
7 lefties in the lineup today for the O's. That's probably why that line flipped this morning. Yeah.
Could be. Good luck,
That's good.
Javier.
Yeah, good luck. I'll be honest with you, folks. This game is freaking weird. And seeing Houston up until about an hour ago as a -120 favorite was a head scratcher for me. Now we're seeing this line, make a little bit more sense because it's flipped, and now Baltimore's laying -120. Javon, I
There's no
can't
Yordan,
recommend the
too.
Orioles. Say that again.
There's no Yordan, so that's probably a little bit of the line too.
No Jordan. Yeah, that definitely could be it. 1,000% with those lineups coming out and that line moving back to where it should be. Okay.
Yeah.
I still think in the back of my mind that line is short, but I'm done fading the O's and I'm done taking the Astros, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. I think for the first time in the last couple of years, the Astros aren't going into the playoffs with an insane amount of confidence. And we'll leave that for stock up, stock down, Javon. I want to talk about the Astros then, but I don't know how I'm feeling about the Stros this season, man, and we'll get to it. For now, we have much bigger things to talk about, Javon. OBJ and Kim K. They might be dating. People are talking. Javon, I don't know if this is true or not, but it's all over my feeds. If it's true, WOBJ, making moves. And Kim K has been, bouncing around more than a football of late. But Javon, could this be a big distraction for the Ravens and OBJ, who's already banged up? Maybe his, play out there on the field isn't going to matter that much anyways. What are your thoughts on Kim K making moves, coming into Baltimore to hang out?
I mean, if he comes back and this is confirmed true, I mean, how do you not lock in OBJ unders every single week? This is happening. So it's
He's
known
going to have his
effect.
hands full.
Yeah,
Literally.
literally. Yeah.
How do you not get distracted if you're dating Kim K and you're trying to come back from an injury? How does that not, even if it's subconsciously, distract you from your recovery time? It would probably distract me.
I mean, I think
You know?
distract anybody.
Who's
Yeah.
who's to say they weren't hanging out before this catch?
I feel like she's dated like 10 dudes in the last year or so. So I feel like we would have known.
OBJ might be a swinger. Who knows?
He could be. He could be. OBJ might not be on the field this weekend anyways, so he'll probably have some time off to hang out. But the whole part about this, it's funny to me, and Jack Settleman W tweet, a Baltimore guy who just gets it, Maryland head. The funniest part of this is thinking that Kim K is going to be hanging out in Owens Mills, Maryland, hanging around Baltimore, going to visit OBJ, which to me, as a Maryland guy, is actually hysterical because that is not the greatest part of town, and I can't really picture that happening. But I can picture OBJ doing what I said he was going to do this season, and that's be irrelevant. I really do. I think this will probably be the most irrelevant or most relevant moment of his season this year with the Ravens, and it's already starting out like that, Javon. I just don't think he has any gas left in the tank. at this point in his career. And the gas he does have left in the tank, he's using on his, side pieces. And I don't blame him.
Yeah, I think anybody would at this point, side or not. Can't blame him, but could be the nail in the coffin for this season. I don't know. Maybe the Ravens do. If he comes back and just curses the whole team, that'd be unfortunate. Goots would be in piss.
Yeah, I don't know if this is what the Ravens needed to throw in some more distractions. They just got over their Lamar Jackson distractions from the offseason. Throw this now in the ring. They got to deal with Kim K coming around the facilities. Okay, let's move. Let's groove. All right. Let's talk some MLB, stock up, stock downs. Javon, about 10 games left in the season, give or take a couple, depending on the team. But we're close, man. Home stretch. October is right around the corner. We know that's when playoff baseball starts up, which is actually, maybe the best sport to bet on, playoff baseball. It's absolutely incredible. I'm so stoked to hop back in. But, Javon, I want to talk about a couple stock ups and stock downs for the MLB as we get closer here to the end of the season. And I'll get it started off. My stock up, it's a team that's very good. And no, it's not the Nats ML. It's the Dodgers. And you're going to be saying to yourself, well, can their stock get any higher? They're the Dodgers. They're great every season. But this year's been different, Javon, than most. We come into the season and the Dodgers get off to a little bit of a slow start. And everybody's hopping off the LA bandwagon. And they're starting to back Atlanta. They're starting to back all these other younger, trendy teams. People are forgetting about the old guys out there in LA. And they're entering the postseason, Javon, on probably their best stretch of baseball over the last 3 weeks that I've seen from them all year. The Dodgers are dialed. They've made great adjustments with that rotation when they've had guys go down and get hurt. The young guys have stepped in and they have pitched incredibly. I've been so impressed with these young arms. And as we know, the Dodgers already won the NL West, so now they're just coasting at this point, getting ready for the playoffs. But Javon, you said it perfectly. Just like calling the Chiefs last season to win the Super Bowl when everybody was hopping off them that year and going to the trendy Bills, it's the same thing this season, right? Nobody wanted the Dodgers. Maybe they're, tired of them being great every season. Maybe, there's new shiny toys in Atlanta and, cooler younger teams out there, but the Dodgers still win. And they're playing great ball right now. They've won a bunch of games in a row with about 10 games left in the season. Their stock continues to rise in my eyes, Javon.
Yeah. 100%. I've always stood true throughout the whole entire season, really, despite how good the Braves have been. And even now with how good the Phillies are, I think the Dodgers are still my World Series champion when everything is said and done. And they're playing their best stretch of baseball. And as long as they can get some consistency from that rotation, which they've started to get a little more kind of in the home stretch of the season here, they're going to be so dangerous. People still sleeping.
They're in REM sleep. I don't get it.
REM. Yeah.
I really don't get it, man. What do you got? Stock up in MLB as we get closer to the postseason.
Well, I got the Phillies, which is kind of the obvious choice right now with the way that they're playing. Anybody in that lineup is hitting well right now. Honestly, the Phillies look more like the Braves that we saw from the entire season than the Braves do right now, which we're seeing absolutely dominant offense no matter who's on the mound. Really, we've seen that against the Braves the majority of the time too, which is all that more interesting because you're going to have, in all likelihood, you don't want to assume that the Phillies are going to win a series against whatever wild card team plays, but if they do, they're heading for a day with the Braves in all likelihood. So that's why, kind of like the angle of the Dodgers, waiting for the winner of that team or winner of that series between those two teams after they kind of beat each other up. But the Phillies are playing ridiculous baseball, and they have been really this entire second half of the season. So, offensively, if I'm a pitcher, if I'm a fan of a team, I am much more scared of what the Phillies offense is throwing at you right now than the Braves, especially when you have the bullpen issue behind, Atlanta and the Phillies, just the way that they're playing. There's no holes right now. So I would be very scared of what the Phillies are going to do come postseason time.
I feel like I've seen this movie before, and it was only last year, Javon. The Phillies getting red hot in the second half of the season and coming in with confidence level of Austin Powers. And that's what you need to win a World Series. You either have to be the best team on paper by far, or you're bringing some crazy magic in, through August and September into October, and you carry the vibes all the way through, and you're just unbeatable, like the Nats were in 2019, or like the Phillies were up until, the World Series last year. I feel like we've talked about this. There's always one elite team in the World Series, and there's always one team that's just riding, the wave of being the hottest team in baseball. Last year, it was the Phillies filling that void. It could be them again today. This year. Would not be shocked at all because right now, Javon, they're beating up on Atlanta in this series, and they're going to be heading into the playoffs knowing that they can beat this team once they face off against them, in the NL, DS or CS, whatever it is, and they could beat them. They know this team, and they're coming in off the series, and they're about to freaking sweep them or beat them anyways. So the Phillies definitely stock through the roof right now. I'm with you. Stock downs, a couple MLB teams we're not really vibing with right now, and I mentioned mine earlier. I'm going to go with the Astros. All right. Since I've been a huge baseball fan, I don't know, following baseball very seriously in high school, I feel like that's when the Astros kind of started getting goods. Before that, they were just moose shit. And then they switched leagues, and they've kind of gained this, organizational confidence, and they've been pretty fucking good every single year for the last, 6 or 7 seasons. This is the first time, Javon, I'm witnessing this Houston team head into the playoffs where I don't think they're feeling as confident as they usually do. I don't think they have that chip on their shoulder entering the postseason where they're feeling confident after a great year. They have all their veterans healthy and happy the whole season playing great. They haven't had that. Brantley's just now coming back. Altuve's been in and out. Jordan's been hurt the whole season, and a lot of their pitchers have been banged up, and our rotation is not looking as solid as it did a couple of years ago, mainly Justin Verlander, who's come back over to Houston, and he has not impressed me at all since going back to Houston. And maybe he'll get that figured out. I mean, the guy's a Hall of Famer. I'm not doubting him, but I am doubting the rest of that rotation, and I'm doubting that lineup, who in years past, I feel like I never had to worry about Houston when I was betting on them or if I was just watching them. They would always come through. They'd figure it out. They were clutch. They were always healthy. This year has been different, Javon, and I just have a weird perception of how this team is going to flop for the first time in years once they enter the postseason this year. I'm out on the Astros.
Yeah, I don't feel great about the Astros either. Thankfully for them, we're talking about playoff position and who they're potentially going to face. I mean, I don't feel great about a lot of the wild card teams, which they're probably going to get a little bye there, and then they're facing the Rangers and maybe the Blue Jays, whoever comes to, I don't know, Rangers, Blue Jays, Mariners, whatever combination of those two are going to play in front of them, who are all teams not playing very well. So that'll be an interesting little series there. We'll see how that plays out. But yeah, they don't look good. Pitching staff is not good.
Get the Yankees slurpage out of here, although they are the play on the ML today, and we'll get to that soon. But Dead Larry Bird, get those jokes out of here. We don't make jokes about the Yanks. That's all we do. Any other teams, though, jokes are welcome. Keep going, Javon.
Yeah, for my stock down, I went the Cubs, which obviously is very relevant to the Reds' wildcard chances. I was kind of penciling the Cubs in after a while. I thought this was going to be a race for that last spot, but they have struggled lately. I mean, they've had 2 massive series against the D-backs, including the one that we see on the screen. The first one, they lost 3 out of 4, and then they got swept in a 3-game series just this past weekend. So these were crucial games that they have struggled in, and their offense didn't come to play. Some of their pitching staff, especially the bullpen, has been pretty inconsistent too, which has been an issue for them all season. But their bats really kind of bailed them out for a majority of the middle part of the season, where they really started to get hot, and now it's not as much holding up. They had those 2 series, and then sandwiched in between them a really bad series in Coors where they couldn't hit. So this is a team that's struggling at the wrong time. And now, yes, they play the Pirates and Rockies, like we're saying in chat, the next 2 weeks. But guess who they play the last 2 series of the year? The Braves and the Brewers, which the Braves are going to hit with anybody, and the Brewers are going to pitch with anybody. So those are 2 very tough matchups. If they're kind of hanging around right where they are right now with no room to spare in the wild card race, come those 2 series towards the end of the season, that's a problem. So this is a team that's getting cold at the wrong time. They got to figure it out and figure it out fast. They started off with a really big win yesterday against the Pirates, which they kind of should. They got to dominate these next 2 series because they need some wiggle room.
I'm with you. The only thing that worries me a little bit is that obviously the Braves are clinched, and I'm assuming by then maybe Milwaukee will be clinched. Are they going to be putting out their A bullpens out there? Are they going to be putting out their best lineups out there? Are we going to be seeing the Braves playing like they're playing right now, where they're not winning for the first time all season? I don't know. That sketches me a little bit, but everything else you said, I'm with you, and I do not believe in this Cubs team. Although the hype is surrounding them after last night. Of course, we're doing stock downs on teams after last night's game where they won, 10-1 or whatever when their rookie debuted. But I'm still with you, and I don't believe in that team. And Justin Steele's a stud. But is the rest of that rotation good enough to win a playoff series? I don't think so. I really don't.
Teams, they gotta rely on their bats like this with a bad bullpen, especially behind them. It's usually not a recipe for playoff success. So it's one of the reasons why I've been out on the Braves for a while too, and the Cubs are kind of in that same boat.
Okay. All right, I'm with you. Let's keep moving and grooving. We got some NFL stock up, stock downs, chat, and then we're going to go over MLB plays for the day. Don't you worry. We're coming in hot. If you need a play for this Nats game, we already talked about it. Nats ML, decent look today. Wouldn't be nuking it, but probably our best look for that 1 o'clock game, Javon, for a straight bet. Okay. Book plays, I'm on Josiah, less than 1.5 walks. And Javon, there was another square in the early games you liked, Gunnar Henderson, more than 2 beats. If people are looking for a 2-piece.
There you go.
W's. Let's keep moving and grooving, folks. Let's talk some NFL stock up and stock downs. Guys, we got games tomorrow. We got games for the next couple months. Even if there's no football today, we know NFL is king. We got to talk about it. We know you guys want to listen to it. Stock up. I'm going to give you a team who I think if they stay healthy could win the whole fucking thing. The Miami Dolphins. This offense is elite. Their coach is a genius. He's changing the game. He's absolutely a mastermind. Absolute mastermind. And you need 2 main things to win a Super Bowl in my eyes. You need a QB, you need a coach. That's where it starts. And then you go to the trenches. And I'm not sold on the Dolphins O-line, but their defense is good enough. I'm not saying they're going to be winning games in the trenches, but with the fastest team I've ever seen assembled in my entire life, whether it comes to receivers or running backs, they have the quickest weapons I've ever seen in NFL history. Who the heck is going to keep up with these guys? I don't know. Not even Bill Belichick could craft up a way to slow this team down, okay? If they stay healthy, if Tyreek Hill stays healthy, he's going to have 1,800 yards this season easily, straight up. If Tua stays healthy, he might break the record for most passing yards this season, okay? And you're seeing a guy right here, and no, this was not me, putting 27 racks down for the Dolphins to win the Super Bowl. I wish it was. But I'm with this guy. And I don't hate that he's getting in after they're 2-0. We needed to see if the Dolphins were legit. And after 2 weeks, I'm willing to say they are. If they stay healthy, I think they could win that division, potentially over the Bills. Straight up. Stock is through the roof on the Dolphins right now. That offense is elite. Nobody's slowing down.
Yeah, and I mean that literally health is. I've always said it's the only issue for them going into the season, and that's why a lot of people are bullish on them and don't want to invest in them. I guess before the season and now, if Tua stays healthy, they have one of the highest ceilings in the NFL. So that's what you're betting on there, and I don't think it's a bad investment. So yeah, all in on the Dolphins. Buy stock up. I went with the team that I've been slurping since the offseason here, the Falcons, who have started off 2-0, 2 gritty wins, kind of exactly a lot of these games that you thought the Falcons or how you thought they would win. Beat the Panthers in an interdivision matchup there, then gritted out a good comeback against the Packers, who were missing their probably 2 best weapons on offense. But again, that's a lot of what's going on with the Falcons. They're winning a lot of these games with their defense, with the run game. Nobody's really doing it like them. Like their offense is so unique, and for them to come back with the way that they play offense in that run game, which nobody in the league can really stop, it's interesting. And like a lot of the reason we invest in them too, or I invested in them too, because like you talk about their schedule, it's been relatively easy to start the season. I mean, you had the Panthers, of course, and then they got pretty lucky to see the Packers without Christian Watson and Aaron Jones, but the schedule doesn't really get much more difficult. Like they have a tough game, I guess, on the road that I think they're definitely in this weekend against the Lions, and then you have the Jags. But after that, Texans, Commanders, Bucks, Titans, Vikings, Falcons, or Titans, Vikings, Cardinals. Like these are a lot of teams.
Commanders, that's an easy schedule.
Yeah, Commanders might win by 50, but yeah, it's a simple schedule. It's like what I've seen out of them so far, and honestly, like if you watch the second half of the game too against the Packers, a lot of it was based on the run game. Bijan was absolutely healthy, but Ritter had one of the most efficient second halves out of all the quarterbacks last week. So he was starting to find his way. I'm not going to say he's prime Tom Brady or anything, but that gives me hope that he can kind of continue to improve throughout the season. But when you have a run game like them, you don't really need Ritter to do all that much. That's why he's the quarterback of that offense, and you don't really need him to be a world beater. So what I've seen out of them is giving me a lot of hope.
Okay, I'm with you. And although I do think they have the wrong QB in, Ritter's done enough to keep the job for now. I do think Heineke can level up that offense, but they got to see what they have with the young gunner. They do.
Yeah, Arthur Smith too. That coaching adjustments and all the play calling in that second half when they were coming back, masterful, absolutely masterful. So
Impressive.
I'm
Honestly,
excited.
from an organization like that, who are a bunch of losers,
Yeah,
impressive. Can you say something nice about Bijan before we move on? I think he
Bijan's
deserves
good,
it.
dude. Bijan's awesome.
He deserves it.
Yeah, like if there was
Yeah.
any spot for a running back to get drafted early and be in a perfect position, it's literally to go to the Falcons. Like, you couldn't ask for a better situation for him. And now they're going to get Cordell Patterson back very soon too. I think maybe this week. I don't know exactly if that's confirmed or not, but just in the run game, Swiss Army knives. And yeah, down
That's how they
12 in the
win.
fourth and still running the ball. That's just how they win. Nobody else does it like that.
I'm with it. 100%. Stock up through the roof on the Falcons this year. You know, Lawrence Hype. They're
Of
ballers.
course.
Bijan carrying. All right. And somebody in chat also asked, so we might as well do this right now, talking about the Browns RB situation, right? Prayers up for Chubb. First off, that's the most important thing. It's so fucking sad to see a guy who's had injury issues go down like that again.
Yeah.
Really hope we see him in the league again soon. They did bring in Kareem Hunt, Javon, and we know they have Ford as well, who impressed the heck out of me when he took over the lead running back duties in that last game. So I do think he's probably earned a chance at having that starting role. But we also know how the Browns roll, and they are more than okay with doing running back by committee. So they're bringing in Kareem Hunt. This really stinks for anybody out there who spent all their money on Fab for either one of these two guys, because in my opinion, it's going to be, a tag team the whole rest of the season, and it's going to be really tough to start, either one of these guys, at least this coming week when we have no freaking clue who's going to be the workhorse back, right, Javon? Where is your head at with both these running backs, and what should people be looking to do in fantasy football?
So in fantasy football, I would be waiting to make any decisions anyway, because the best matchup that the Browns are going to have against the Titans this week is going to be Deshaun Watson's arm against the secondary. But
Yep.
the one thing that stands out to me, I don't think if they were completely sold on letting Jerome Ford be the RB1 that's going to significantly take a majority of the snap share, you would see a little $4 million price tag on that 1-year deal with Kareem Hunt. That seems like a lot of money for a guy to come back and just get touches here and there and be like a third down type back. So I think obviously you're going to work him in kind of week 1, but he's probably going to work his way up to being a little full split here. So I would definitely pump the brakes on going full in on Jerome Ford just because of what we saw last week.
Yep. I'm with it, Javon. They're probably not paying him up to $4 million for him to be one down back.
Yeah.
I'm with you. They probably plan on, running with 2 RBs for the rest of the season, and that is no bueno for fantasy football owners. Good luck. That's not a situation I want to deal with. When I draft RBs, I pick ones who are the only RB on that team. I hate dealing with RBs by committee, so I'm good. But yeah, if you guys used all your fab on Ford, you're not looking too hot right now. If you used some of your fab on Chubb, you're looking okay. You made a pretty good move, and I would keep him stashed for a little bit. I keep both those guys on your bench for the next 2 weeks at least.
Yeah,
Have to.
for sure.
Have to. Javon called Snell Gem. Yes, he did. All right, let's keep moving. Let's keep grooving here, Javon. We've got some stock downs for the NFL, and then we're going to go right into MLB slates, going over all the games today, folks. We've got stock downs for the NFL. I'm going to go with the Chargers. Okay, and the Chargers are great, man. They got Justin Herbert, right? He's an absolute stud. They've got a great offense. They have a young coach who's probably the biggest bozo in the league. And they've got $1 bazillion worth of defensive players who have big-time names, and they don't do anything on the field. This stat is a brain scratcher for me, folks. Justin Herbert, in his last 4 games, he's putting up freaking Tom Brady stats, and they haven't won a single one of these games. The guy hasn't even thrown a pick. He's completing 66% of his passes. He's doing his job. What worries me, Javon, is that obviously he's the star on that team. He's the focal point of that offense, especially with Eckler banged up now for the first time really in his career. Who knows when he'll be back? I'm not hearing good things. This Chargers team's already down 0-2, and Javon, now they're an underdog coming up this week in Minnesota, another 0-2 team. And we've heard all the trends. We've heard all the people talking about it. Nobody who starts out 0-3 ever makes the playoffs. There was one team ever who did it, and I forget who it was, so I'm not going to botch it, but one team has ever made the playoffs after starting 0-3, guys. It doesn't happen. It doesn't. And the Chargers, only team ever, Javon, to put up 50 points in their first 2 games, with no turnovers, and they go 0-2. This perfectly sums up this organization. They're rat pits. As we get another Castellanos nuke. My goodness, he's back.
Locked.
The Phillies are locked. Stock up through the roof. Guys, the Chargers, stock down. This is not a winning organization. These are not winning coaches. And they might have Justin Herbert, but if he hasn't shown you guys that he can do everything in the world to play at his best, and at this point, it doesn't even matter because of how shit their defense is. Guys, hop off the Chargers train. They are not a winning organization. And with that defense, I don't know how they're that bad with some of those big names on that side of the ball, Javon, but somebody should get fired.
Yeah, I don't
It's
understand.
embarrassing.
I really don't.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, they have all the talent in the world, year in, year out. Definitely don't have the talent on the coaching front of things. Maybe I don't know. Kellen Moore is going to make that offense do things that they've already been doing, frankly. But
Yeah,
the
what's
defense, the defense and Brandon Staley is just never going to change.
I mean,
It
Javon,
sucks.
they got Joey Bosa. They got Eric Kendricks, who's a little banged up, but still a beast. They got Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson, Derwin James, Asante Samuel, Michael Davis. They've got so many big-name studs. How is that defense giving up this many points? There are no excuses to be giving up that many points and losing the first 2 games of the season after putting up a 50-piece. I don't get it.
I don't get it at all. I don't get it at all. So, yeah, they
All
need
right.
to fix it. They need to figure it out. My stock down, I went with probably another one. It's the obvious one, the Bengals. Not just because of what we've seen the first 2 weeks, obviously. I mean, they're pitiful against the Browns. And then week 2, I mean, they looked, I wouldn't say equally as bad because it wasn't a monsoon, but another one where the offense didn't look to go anywhere. And part of it could be because Joe Burrow is injured. And he looks like we got a cave walk. So he's on base with one out here.
Come on. Bring him home. Bring him home.
But they have a Burrow injury situation, which is bad. And we talk about teams starting pretty poorly to start the season, and they've done this. They did this last year. They've done this a couple times now where they've kind of rallied towards the end of the season. But I'm worried that with the Burrow injury, especially if that lingers, you don't really know if he's going to be out this season or this week. I guess that's not confirmed yet, I don't think. But if he is and that kind of lingers for a couple weeks, that could be a disaster situation. If they kind of dig themselves a hole that they can't get out of, especially because if he misses a couple weeks, he's going to be coming back right in kind of the meat of their schedule against, I believe they have games against the 49ers and the Bills, I think back-to-back, kind of right around that point of, 3 games in between that. So I'm really worried about the Bengals. Obviously, if Burrow doesn't play, that kind of throws everything off. But even if he comes back and they stay afloat kind of in that little period where they play a couple soft teams in between, I don't know if it's going to be enough for them to come back and get in the mix, especially in that division. It's going to be really tough this season.
I'm with you. The Bengals are in pits. I am seeing some good things about Joe Burrow. Apparently he's feeling better today, and tomorrow we'll get the injury report when they head back to practice. But these are all just whispers, just rumors, just Schefter talking. Okay, we don't know until he gets back out there on the field. But either way, he's playing through some injuries that are really hurting, his play out there on the field. If that's not clear after these 2 weeks, I don't know what is. They have not connected. They have not synced up at all on the offensive side of the ball. And it might be time to throw the red flag with that team. I'm with it. And yeah, they don't have easy games coming up. And they did not have a good start to the season playing 2 divisional teams. That's bullshit. But they're here. And now their star QB's hurt. And now they're in piss. Right now, Bengals stock down. I'm with you. Okay. We got an Abrams leadoff double. What's new? That kid's a stud. I cannot believe we traded Juan Soto at the end of a contract for all these great young players who love baseball and they love DC. It's actually great. Let's keep moving, Javon. We've got baseball to talk about. All right. But first, guys, download Pickett. If you haven't downloaded Pickett yet, what are you doing? All right. Use promo code Krabs. Use promo code Javon. Download Pickett. Start tracking your bets. Join the least toxic sports betting community out there. If you're tired of Twitter and seeing all the green check marks and seeing all the chirps, go to Pickett. Okay, they got their own Twitter on there. They got their own feed where it's strictly just talking about sports betting and winners. Go check it out. It's not just for tracking. And we get a Nats bang here, folks. Let's fucking go. Download Pickett. And I hope you took the Nats ML. Let's fucking go, chat. W's. Let's move. Let's groove. It was always the Nats ML. Javon, take us through the MLB slates. All right. The people need milk. The people need winners. Why don't you walk us through these games?
Do need it. These are super tough games. Those Joey again.
Dude,
Look at
he is so clutch, guys. When I tweeted that last night, look at his stats. I'm not pulling that out of my ass. One of the highest batting averages in baseball with runners in scoring position. Javon, take us through.
He just might be him. He might be him.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have a couple pretty tough games. I guess first in the dock? We got Red Sox, Rangers. It's another game where I kind of see runs happening here. Brian Bayo, when he's on the road, he's been worse. When he's pitching in the day, weirdly, that's a split that I've been keenly paying attention to, and a lot of the trends guys will point to that. He's bad for whatever reason, but I think he's going to struggle for a little bit against the Rangers lineup today, and same with John Gray. But these bullpens are in absolute shambles. So for guys that, especially like in their matchups today, I think you're going to get in a little bit of pitch count trouble, especially, John Gray, I think will be a little more inefficient than Brian Bayo could be, but Brian Bayo, I think gets hit up a little more. You get into the bullpens, just like we saw yesterday. That game was, I think, 2-1 through the starters, and then the bullpen kind of carried the rest of the way for, I think, 7 more runs. I think it's going to be more of the same today. I do like Corey Seager today. Brian Bayo really struggles against lefties, and we have every other split kind of working against him here. I want to target that one specifically. So Corey Seager, I think, has a pretty big day. I'm down to go with him, but I do like runs in this game. Not locked to it. And yeah, it wasn't yesterday. 100% grimy. Certainly wasn't yesterday, but this is actually a really good spot for him too, and really good matchup. So I like him here. Orioles, Astros, I do actually have a play in. I like the first 5 team total for the Orioles over 2.5, which I don't know. That line you're talking about, it still seems a little short, even with no Jordan involved. So I'm kind of thinking that it's going to get weird towards the end of this game, but I do want to target Christian Javier, especially when he's going to see a lineup of 7 lefties, it looks like, where he really struggles, not just average-wise, you'll see massive splits, but especially slugging. So we talk about a lot of the power hitters that we're going to see for the Orioles in there, which Gunnar he can do it himself too. Santander will be in there, like a lot of guys. Ryan O'Hearn will be in there as well. A lot of guys where I think you could get a multi-RBI bang, because that's kind of what Christian Javier does when he has matchups like those. So I do think they score 3 runs off him in the first 5. And maybe the Astros crawl back and their bullpen actually shuts them down later in the game. So I'm going to keep it to that. But I do still want to target that first 5 team total there.
Okay. And yeah, to address that line, guys, we've seen lines like this all season. We've seen lines like this in this series with Orioles and Houston, where once again, the Orioles aren't getting respect on the lines. And once again, the Astros are getting too much respect. How many times are we going to fall for it and take the bait before something's done and we just stay off? I'm sorry, I'm distracted. Dom Smith almost hit another home run as we got 2 outs now in the end of the first. But you know what, Javon? The Astros get mad respect on the lines every damn day. The Orioles still, for some reason, get none. But what happens? The Orioles more often than not win the game, no matter what the lines are saying, and the Astros don't come through. So I'm done taking the bait in spots like this. I won't be fading the Orioles here, but I do lean that way. And that line sketches me the fuck out.
That's weird. 100% weird.
Yep. All right. W update from Old Man All-American. Sure. Needed it.
Got to do a pickle.
Worst base runners of all time. Worse than my high school team, the Nationals are. All right.
If that isn't a Nationals White Sox game in September, I don't know what is.
Exactly, bro. This is why we brought up Jacob Young. Best base runner in the game. Best base runner in the sport, people call it.
Bring it up. A guy base run in September is insane.
Guys hitting 0.88 on the road this season, though. We need to work on that.
Good.
All right, we'll figure that out in the offseason. Devon, take us to Kansas City. Take us to the trophies.
Yeah, I would have to say I think the trophies are kind of alive again, but I'm not going to go to it. I'm not going to go to it because I don't want to. I don't want to, but I'm sure
out of here.
I'm sure everybody can get down with fitting Giolito to some degree. Like I do think Zach Greinke pitches kind of well too, but Giolito, especially like a couple of the guys at the top of the lineup, I really like their matchups against him. Like Bobby Witt, we were joking in chat about the going for 30 bombs. He has a really good matchup today, so I wouldn't mind squaring up and just taking him in some form or fashion. But yeah, I lead in Royals, but am I going to do it after they've been so good these last couple of games? No, probably not. But it's definitely what I would take there. Mariners, A's. Do I want to get involved in this game? Absolutely not. But I would lean the under. I honestly think that the bullpen cast of the A's, that's when they've actually been their best, when they've had these weird bullpen games. I don't know why. I don't know if it's specific matchups that they have against these teams or just new arms that really nobody has any tape on or can study at all. So they're bringing out a slew of guys today. And Kirby, I think, pitches well. It's no secret there, but I don't think we get much runs or many runs in that game. It feels like a 5-1 type game. The Mariners win pretty easily. Reds with Platts.
Come on, Reds. 2 men on, 1 out. Come on, Reds.
Who we got at the dish?
Looks like we
Friedel
got.
at the dish.
Yep.
Ooh,
Okay.
That's good. Bear,
W.
50 pitches already.
Oof. Good. That's what
That's
I'm talking
great.
about.
That's great.
Okay.
Make him inefficient.
Yeah.
We'll pay attention to this. What else do we have up next? I guess Giants D-backs is the next game in the dock.
Oh, yeah.
The Giants are a very popular play today because they have to win, which I'm not necessarily against it, but I don't like taking stuff just because they have to win, because, I mean, realistically, the D-backs have to win too. But it is kind of a death sentence for the Giants if they lose this game, I think. You know, we have only a handful of games left here in the next couple weeks, and giving up a game to the D-backs is exactly what you don't want to do. But I do think this is a playoff atmosphere type game. I agree with this and the under in the first 5. I don't know what they're going to throw out of them kind of at the end of the game. It's going to be a strangely managed game. It's definitely going to be managed like a playoff game, but I don't trust really, especially the D-backs bullpen against a desperate Giants team. So maybe they score late. Maybe that's how they win the game. But I do think we get absolute shove pieces out of Logan Webb and Merrill Kelly. And this is just a classic game that's 0-0, 1-1, maybe through 5. And we see dueling gems from these guys.
Let's go with that Logan Webb earned run square that's up, though.
Yeah, he's been – I don't know. It's a strange one.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah.
That's giving me bad vibes. I will say a lot of these earned run squares are giving me the weirdest of vibes, and I'll bring them up as you go through the games, but this is one of them.
It is. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Not wrong at all. But
Is
we'll
the
see.
juice loose on the under?
Let's take a peep. See where
Let's see
it's
if
at.
that juice is loose.
Can't assume it would be.
And we get a gray walk, I bet.
Yeah,
Golly.
minus 125 to the under. So, I mean, probably
Okay.
about where it should be.
Okay. Yeah, and he did have 7 scoreless innings in his last outing now. Yeah, that's a little weird. Or did he? Or was that the start before? He pitched twice against the Rockies in his last 2 outings. 2 gems. One was a shutout.
2 gems. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Chad, we need no more walks from Josiah Gray. Fill the zone, buddy. Please. All right. Javon, it's the under, first 5 in this game, back in both these arms.
Yeah, that's what I'd go with here.
Okay. It's going to be a playoff type atmosphere. You're going to see some nerves at the plate. I'm with you.
Yeah, 100%. Reds bang.
Reds bang. Chaco.
Let's go.
Is
Friedel.
this true?
Let's go, Friedel.
Reds bang, Pete. Put them on the board, folks. Put them on the board. I want to see a goddamn 1 up there next to Sin. Come on.
I want to see a 3. That's what I want to see.
Okay, well,
We got
you
a
get a
dish
1.
now. Spencer Steer dish. Here we go.
Come on, Reds.
Give me more.
Reds sploogery.
Give me more.
TJ Bonds. Sure. Chaco, what's up, East? I don't fake Bancraft. You know that. I know that, Choc. I'm happy. Reds are mucking, Ron saying? Are there more to come? Ron, are you at the game? I need to know.
I hope so.
Ron, are you at the game in the seats? And Josiah gives up a ginormous double off the wall. Okay.
I bet.
We now have second and third, 1 out. Maybe he's filling the zone too much.
Josiah ain't locked.
He ain't locked, man. Let's hope Steer's locked. Come on.
I would love to see Steer get locked.
Javon, tell me about this Padres game today while we sweat this out.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a game that I want to get involved in, but there is something you could look at for kind of both sides too. Fly out, you don't like to see that. I would like to see Fraley be clutch. But there is stuff on both sides, like the Rockies after getting nearly no hit yesterday. You don't love to go back to the Padres in a spot like that, but on the other side, you do have Chase Anderson, who threw almost a no-hitter of himself in Coors against the Giants last start. So if there's any kind of regression point that I would like to target a little more, it's probably him, to be honest with you. So I think this is maybe I know a lot of people got excited about the run line cash yesterday for the Padres with Bogarts hitting a walk-off 2-run nuke. Maybe it's a little easier of a run line cash today. And I think Chase Anderson gets hit up a little early. Doesn't go out there and get destroyed necessarily, but maybe we get like a little easier win.
We got 1-1, 2 outs, man on second, top of the second. All right, come on. Get out of this inning, boys. Please.
Just got a lock.
Please, Josiah, get us out of this puppy. Come on. Oh, there's a fly ball to right field. Right to Lane Thomas. All right, we're out of it. Let's go hit. Let's go hit, Nats. Come on. Fraley Spano too. Great. All right.
No spawners.
Ravon, what about LA and Tampa? Can I get the Rays report?
Yeah, that's shout out the Rays yesterday. A little clutch run line cash. I was regretting it for a second after they weren't doing all that much since the Randy tank for a majority of the game that came through. Feels pretty similar today. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I'm gonna go to the grave with the run line today, but a guy like Detmers matches up pretty identically to what we saw from Patrick Sandoval yesterday, and then Savali on the other side. I almost like his matchup a little better than Taj Bradley. So it feels like a pretty similar game to me. The Angels are one of those teams that have been absolutely atrocious versus curveballs, and Savali, that's how, when he's had like his big strikeout games, a lot of that's been with the curveball. So I do think he pitches pretty well. I'll be backing him in some form or fashion, but yeah, it seems like a Rays -1.5. Don't feel as good about taking a home run line as I did yesterday, and I don't want to go back to back with it, but that would probably be the play that I would stick with in that game. And yeah, Randy, I have zero issues backing him against a lefty when he's seeing the ball as well as he is right now.
Don't let Randy get hot. It might be too late.
It's way too late.
Yep.
Way too late.
Okay. And I think we did skip over Boston and Texas, and the people are asking for their place. Did we talk about that game?
Yeah, you talk about that.
Well, I didn't talk about Brian Bayo and his square that's up.
About it.
What's up with that earned run square, Javon? I'm trying to get in, get out with the Red Sox first fivers in this spot, fading a team that has all the pressure against the Red Sox who aren't doing shit, but they keep still hitting. That's what they do. They might not be able to pitch, but they can hit. And that Rangers bullpen and John Gray on the bump, can it get worse than that anyways? Like, how much worse can, Bayo and the Red Sox bullpen be? Can't be much worse than John Gray with how he's been looking, and that sketchball Rangers bullpen that stinks. Give me the Red Sox, first fivers, just in case there's any fluke shit with both starters. I'm willing to bet the Red Sox get in, get out early in this matchup, and I really just want to fade Gray, plain and simple. And that Bayo earned run square that's up is telling me he's going to pitch well enough to keep the Red Sox in this game at least early, Javon. Give me the Sox, dirty water, first 5 plus a half.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I kind of see this game being having a lot of base runners early on. So, I mean, if he gets through a couple of these innings, like, it could almost be his friend that he's pitching so poorly that maybe he doesn't make it all that far in the game. And he just gives up like 2, something like that. And then we get to the bullpens and they get destroyed on both sides, I guess.
People are sleeping that this is the bat maybe in the history of the bats.
Yeah, well, not anymore.
And he struck out immediately as I said that.
Immediately. We got to be better. Got to be so much better.
Cannot make it out, folks. Can't make it out. My words have powers. I've learned that. I've learned that.
They do.
Okay. Javon, are you giving me a thumbs up on that less than 2.5 earned run square for Bayo?
Not a thumbs up, because I don't think he pitches all that well either, but it's not like I'm taking this over either. Nothing.
Okay. That's fair. Let's keep moving and
I like
grooving.
the over. I like the over.
You like runs.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. That's fair. We got a Nats leadoff double from Luis Garcia. Let's go, Luis. You knew Luis was coming in hot today, bro. Why the heck was he up on Prize
So
Picks?
bad, dude.
Let's go, Luis. Leadoff double down the line. Prize Picks knew something about Luis Garcia today.
They might have known.
They might have known. Javon, couple more games. Let's go to Miami and the Mets. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, I mean, as much as they hate to say it, I do like the under. I think this is a pretty well-pitched game on both sides. Maybe another one you want to target the first 5 because of what the Marlins have been doing lately against bullpens. It's like the Reds in their little stretch where they won like 12 in a row and won every single game late in the game. The Marlins are kind of doing the same right now, but I do think that They probably win this game. I lean Marlins too, which I hate to say. I do think they get to Kodai Senga just the slightest bit, and Yuri Perez tosses an absolute gem. So I think it's like a 3-2 Marlins win, maybe with some fluke stuff at the end.
Okay. Maybe an under?
Yeah, I like the under too, for sure.
Okay. Oh, man. Justin Fields' interview. Calling out the coaching. Huh. Maybe we should take a peep at that, Javon. Have you been hearing the rumors? Maybe we should watch this interview real quick. Let's see what Justin Fields had to say about the state of the Bears right now. Let's take a listen, folks.
Of course, things that I didn't like, I felt like, I wasn't necessarily playing my game. Felt like I was kind of robotic and, not playing like myself. So, my goal this week is just to, say F it and just go out there and, play football how I know how to play football. And that's not that includes thinking less and just going out there and, playing off of instincts rather than just of, so much, so to say, info in my head, data in my head, and literally just going out there playing football. I mean, just going back to it's a game, and that's it, because that's when, I play my best is I'm just out there playing free and being myself. So I'm going to say kind of just bump all the, what I should do, what I, this and that, like pocket stuff, like I'm going to go out there and be me. So, yeah.
When you say when you are playing the way when you're playing like yourself, what does that look like?
See, so
when you say thinking less, what do you think was causing you to think so much, maybe think too much?
Could be coaching, I think, but at the end of the day, it makes it, they're doing their job when they're giving me, what to look at, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I, can't be thinking about that when the game comes. I prepare myself throughout the week, and then when the game comes, it's, it's time to play free at that point. So, just.
Yeah, we're not going to make you guys sit through that 2.5 minutes of maybe the most sleep-sounding talk of all time. I guess that goes to tell you how confident Justin Fields is feeling right now. But Javon, he's making a lot of excuses. He's pointing some fingers. He's saying, it's not me, it's the coaches. They're getting in my head. They're telling me what to do. They're coaching me before the games. I can't do it. I got to go out there and say, fuck it, and just run around like a chicken with my head cut off and not listen to the coaches or people who are paid millions of dollars to tell me what to do because they're smart. What is your thoughts on Justin Fields' comments? Do you think that they are true? Do you think they're warranted?
It definitely seems like they're warranted to a degree because, from watching him, I guess in both games this season, but especially against the Bucs, there are a couple that, like the clips that are going viral on Twitter of him just deliberately missing open reads and open touchdowns and walk-in touchdowns. And it's not like he didn't see them. It's like you can tell he's kind of overstimulated or something is happening in his head that he doesn't want to do, and they're obviously trying to make him stay in the pocket, and there's a lot of things going on. So if he does, I think it's 100% fair to say that the coaches are making things a little too complicated for him to just operate the offense. But, if you were a fan of the organization or in the organization, the lack of accountability for anything is kind of tough to see. But with that said, Chiefs Bears overs might be free. That game might soar.
Somebody said it already in chat. They said Justin Fields might have 100 yards on the ground in that game. He might.
Yeah, he should probably take his rushing yards.
Because it sounds like no matter what the coaches are going to tell him this week, he's not going to listen, is what it sounded like.
Yeah. I mean, again, from watching the game, it looked like because there's the joke of him wanting to run before he even gets to a read or anything. And you see that a couple of times. But in the Bucs, he looked like he stepped back in the pocket, didn't see something. Then he went to run. Then he stopped, kind of stayed in the pocket, and then ran and fell into a sack. That happened 4 or 5 times. There's the one where he just ran straight into the line after thinking about doing it 3 times. So if he's going first instinct, that's kind of the Justin Fields you want to see. So again, if he's doing that this week, better catch those rushing yard lines.
Yeah, and if you're calling out your coaches in an interview when you've been playing like crap, you better back that up with a solid performance in week 3. Because if you're talking all that talk, that's fine. If you're a star, if you're Justin Fields, if you're the guy everyone's been saying you are, that's fine. Talk your talk. Chirp away. but you got to deliver, man. And he hasn't delivered once this season. So let's see it this weekend against a pretty mid Chiefs defense. He's got a chance to prove everybody wrong. I don't know if he has it in him, but should be some points in that game overall. And maybe he won't be listening to the coaches and he'll be running more. And to be honest with you, Javon, that's probably a better game plan for the Bears to win, is just let Justin Fields go. Let him run.
Yeah. I mean, I was have been pretty impressed with the Chiefs defense, especially their D-line.
You got Nats Bags.
Ooh. Look at the Nats, man.
Sure.
Cooking.
Sure.
Yeah, Chiefs defense I thought has been good. And I think they're gonna get plenty of pressure on him. So he might be, yes, like design runs and kind of doing enough instinct, but he might be running for his life this week. So those rushing yard squares are not a terrible thing to play.
Okay. W's. Let's keep moving and grooving, folks. Back to baseball. Looks like we got an update from Trent. Amon-Ra has turf toe. Oh, my God.
That sucks.
That is probably the worst injury a wide receiver could have. That looks minor. Is a toe injury. Sounds not bad at all, but I'll tell you what. Javon, you're the one that pointed this out earlier. That could be a nail in the coffin for his season.
Turf toe is bad for a wide receiver.
Joke.
That lingers for a majority of the season, whether they're out there playing or not. So, I mean, it's not good for the go well. That kind of sucks.
No, it's not. The good thing is Amon-Ra is different. That guy's not a fucking normal human. He's a freak. So maybe he'll play through it and still be a stud, and we know he's still going to get targets. But, man, that's tough.
Yeah,
that's tough.
Yeah,
all right.
We'll see.
Let's keep moving. We got a couple more late-night games, Javon. Take us to New York. We got Toronto. We got the Yanks trying to play spoiler here. Not mathematically eliminated, but might as well be. Toronto's still in it, though. Javon, you think the Yanks play spoiler? I know you talked about that series price. Kind of weird the Yankees were, a favorite to win this series? But they did lose yesterday.
Yeah,
we go back to the Yanks today?
Now they got to go back to the Yanks. I do think the Yanks win this game. Series price and everything, thrown out the window. Like the Yanks, and I especially like the under. Michael King has actually been, like, a lot of the Yanks bullpen is very good, period. But they've started stretching out Michael King. It's kind of like an extended, like, bulk guy, throwing him for like 4-ish innings. And he's been really, really good. And I love his matchup against a lot of the Blue Jays bats today, which he is super tough on righties, big sinker slider guy, which those guys are pitchers that the Blue Jays really haven't hit well all season, but like especially when they've started being pretty terrible over like the last month and a half or so. So I think he pitches an absolute gem, and the Yankees bullpen, you can usually always count on them to do enough. And I certainly do here, but Gausman, I think he gets nicked up a little bit. I still think he pitches pretty well, but this lineup has seen him and matched up with him a couple times already. So I do think they can get to him enough for the Yankees to win this game, but I do still just like this under. I think for the Blue Jays, especially if we get Gausman in a little bit of trouble early, the trouble with him is like when he's bad, he is bad. And they don't have the luxury or didn't earlier in the season to kind of yank him out pretty early. Like now in the wild card race, they're going to have to. So like, I do think he pitches decently, and the second he gets in trouble, he ain't going to be in that game. So it's a low-scoring Yankees win for me.
W's. I'm cool with that. Give me the Yankees on the ML. And speaking of guys getting pulled early, Michael Kopech just got pulled in the second inning. We got Schultz in the game now. W's.
Wonder who knew that.
Huh. If only somebody said that was going to happen today.
I mean,
well, it's 4-0 Nats. He sucks anyways, yeah. But it's 4-0 Nats. Let's hold. All right. What's an early game play? Loke is saying. We always go in order, my man. So we start with the early games. But if you missed them, we'll be nice today. We'll give you some plays. I go Boston first 5 plus a half. That's my favorite play in the early games. Javon, are you going with the O's first 5ers? What's your favorite early game play?
I went O's first 5 team total over 2.5.
Ooh, okay.
That's what I took. Yeah.
Cheeky.
Yeah.
Good work. All right.
Got to.
W's. Rays Angels is the first ever virtual ballpark game tonight. What does that mean, Jeep?
Virtual ballpark game?
Also, you're not going to have any comments about the Rays get a new stadium?
Dude, that's a joke. Literally, like, it doesn't mean anything. Reds bomb.
Reds bang 2-zip. Let's go. Let's go, Chalk.
CES
2-0, boys.
He's sneakily been he's been the Reds' best hitter for like a couple weeks now.
Let's go Strand.
He's good.
What do you say,
Okay.
kids? Huge,
Love to see
Javon.
that. Love
Hold.
to see that. Need
Two
some more.
words. Hold.
Need it.
Cubs.
But yeah, the Rays bullpen stadium deal is ridiculous. This is the same thing they did, like if people remember in Tampa. They had this whole unveiling of a plan, and they're like, here, this is what we're gonna do. They're gonna put it in downtown Tampa. They're gonna have this cool stadium deal. It's gonna be like connected with the Lightning Stadium, and basically they're unveiling the whole plan and saying, here, this looks amazing. Does it look amazing enough for you to pay for it? Because we're not paying for it. This is the same thing they did right now. Like they set out this whole plan, but the ownership groups have not offered to pay for a dime of it. So like it doesn't mean anything to me. I mean, it sucks in the first part because it's in St. Pete and they're not really making the switch for the Tampa Bay Rays to go to Tampa because that's the main issue of everything, but they're not paying for it. It's like it's still going to be an issue.
Huh. They've been debating this for 20 years, Sealord's saying. So this is bullshit, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see the paper signed and them actually offer or put up a certain amount for the stadium, because that's the thing that they haven't been able to do. That's the reason why they haven't gotten a new stadium done this long. Yeah, they still have to get approval. Yeah, they do that like over the course of like towards the end of this year and beginning of next year. They still have to get approval from the county and the city, and that also includes pretty much the city paying for all of it, because that's what they kind of told them they have to do pretty much.
And sometimes that plays, typically it's more of a split between the city and the ownership. So that'll probably have to end up being, how they get it done, but kind of weird they're not willing to pay.
The problem is they with the city, first of all, like the ownership group is being super cheap, as they always are, but they want the city Benson up. There we go. But they want the city to pay for a majority of it, but they have a model down there in Miami of how that worked out for them, and they're absolutely refusing to do it. So it's going to be a longer process than everybody thinks.
Okay. Not buying it just yet. We got the Nats with the bases loaded and Ruiz up with a 2-1 count. We got Benson up to the dish. We need a base knock from our guy, Willie B. All right, get on base any way you can, please. Come on. Benson trying to bunt?
Bro. You would not do that.
Dude, what are we doing trying to bunt?
You just got to be better.
Oh. Is he toast?
See if he's still going for it. I don't know why you'd bunt. He's been one of their...
What are we doing bunting?
Guys.
He's hitting now. Great. After he took a strike, I'm sure. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving, Javon. We got a couple more games to get to here, and we got about 20 minutes. Pitt and Chicago. You talked about stock down on the Cubbies while we're sweating out this Benson at bat. What am I seeing there on the screen?
In play
outs. Oh.
GG.
GG.
He'll be up.
It was never really big.
He'll be back.
Ben's a good ball player. Sure. All right.
Be back. He'll be
keep moving, keep grooving, Javon. Take us to Chicago. What do you like in that game?
Yeah, I mean, this is probably the most challenging pitching matchup the Cubs are going to get in the series by a pretty wide margin with Mitch Keller on the mound. And I think he pitches pretty well. So I don't want to go near fading the Cubs because I think this is just, again, a situation where they have to roll in these series, and they certainly have the bats and the arms too. Compared to the Pirates, but I think it's not going to be easy for them either. Another kind of low-scoring playoff atmosphere type win that I see happening. I think Steele absolutely deals. So it's like a Cubs squeak this one out late with a couple runs off the bullpen for the Pirates, and they call it a day.
Okay. Well, Cubs ML piece. I mean, they're minus 180. They better.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lay it, but yeah, I don't think they lose this game.
All right. What about Milwaukee, St. Louis? Hauser versus Thompson. What do you like in that game?
We'll probably have to lean the Cards in that game. Zach Thompson. It's a pretty interesting matchup. Good for him. And as a lefty going up against the Brewers here. And the Brewers are in a spot where they like need to win because like the Cubs are not technically eliminated from, winning the division exactly. But you can tell by the way that they're managing some of these games with their pitching staff that they're not full go, especially with guys they bring out of the bullpen and with Hauser, who they've been particularly careful with for a couple of, I guess, month or two now. They've been shortening his starts, bringing in bullpen guys pretty early. So he's like a kind of how the Yankees are using Michael King. They'll probably let him go a little bit longer today, just because they really don't want to gas the bullpen, especially the top guys there. So, like, I like the matchup for Zach Thompson, Adrian Hauser. The Cards bats can get to him. So I lean Cards. Another gross game to probably not get involved if you really don't want to, though.
Okay. Take us to the night game. Reese Olson. Don't let him get hot. It might be too late, Javon. Well, now he gets to face a real team tonight. He's faced some bogus teams recently. Cover your ears. He faced the Reds. He faced – who else did he face? Let's see. Two of the same teams twice, and that was cake. Oh, the White Sox, sure. And then the Yankees in his last 4 outings, Javon. So he's been nails, but he's been pitching against crummy offenses here, knock on wood. Today, he gets the Dodgers. Do they light him up?
Yeah, Dodgers -1.5 in this game.
Okay.
I think they absolutely destroy him. Bobby Miller deals. That's probably going to get a Trent Sponage in like 2 seconds. But yeah, I would lay the run line here with the Dodgers. And especially, I mean, last night doesn't hurt either. I know a lot of people were doing the same in that game, and that was a super weird game that they needed to walk off. And yeah, all of his lines are super high. He's got an earned run square that's pretty red. The hits allowed square is super red. He is playing the Dodgers, so it's not like it doesn't make sense. But yeah, I think he gets absolutely destroyed today.
Okay. Yeah, how would you play the Dodgers tonight? Team total over?
I would just take -1.5. I trust Bobby Miller in this game.
Okay. Lay it. Have no fear. -1.5 Dodgers. Tails old as time.
Yep.
Okay.
Mookie
W's.
legacy night, maybe.
Yeah. I think Trent just did a backflip before Surge Stream as well. He's excited.
Dodgers -1.5 and Mookie over what total bases or something. He's absolutely going crazy.
W's. All right, chat. We just went through the entire MLB slate. W's. We got the Nats right now. We're sweating out. They're up 4-1. We got the Reds. We're sweating out right now. They're up 2-0. End of the fourth. Sure. If you guys are betting Philly, Atlanta, that game's 4-2. And I'm pretty sure. Oh my God. We almost just robbed a home run. The Nats did. But the ball just went back into the infield, and that will be a single because the base runner didn't run. He pimped it. This is wild.
What is going on?
This is wild. Jake Alou, who doesn't play the outfield much, just almost robbed the ball in left field for the Nats over the wall. It hit off his glove and bounced back into play. And the guy only got a single because he didn't run. What the? Huh.
Weird.
Could be huge. All right.
That is.
Let's go over
strange.
squad rides. Let's go over our favorite plays here, Javon. I don't want to rush it. We'll let it bake while we talk about some of our favorite plays for today. But Boston College legend Jake Alou, I didn't know he went to BC. WACC guy. We need to lock in for the squad ride, folks. Plain and simple. We have not been giving you winners. This has been the coldest streak we've had for the squad ride ever. But have no fear.
Yeah.
The squad ride is still 128, 90, and 3. Almost 40 games over 500. Okay? We're going to bounce back. We're settling in. We're going to find you guys an MLB winner for today. All right, let's get the options going, Javon. I think we got to go Yanks. I think we got to go.
Or the under in that game too. We don't have many options, so we didn't.
I know we don't have any options.
Can't really afford to be all that picky.
Do we want to start? I'm assuming we only want to use the last, 6 games of the night. It start after, 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay. And Chad, we do have our best bets below. If you want to lock something in now, we got you covered. Some of our favorite plays for today. But we'll go ahead and put in. These games suck. We'll put in Yankees ML. We'll put in Toronto and Yankees under. Right?
Yeah.
Under 7.5 or 7 now. Jesus.
Is it 7 now? Lord. Still in, but you see in the chat.
It's 7.5, but the under is -120, bro.
I mean, yeah, it's probably gonna go down pretty soon.
There's no 7s even floating around yet, though. It's all 7.5 juiced to the under. Huh.
Chat.
We'll go 7.5.
I want to put them.
Lines out right now.
I want to put them in the poll, man. It's just I know it's an auto win.
I want Iguodala. Javon, they won it. Can't flash a little Dodgers -1.5 in front of them like a piece of cheese and then rip it away. You can't. What's done is done. You said it. You said the words Dodgers -1.5, and now we're here with no choice.
The Yankees, I feel like it's just. I feel the Yankees just such a better play, though, man.
It is a better play, and hopefully chat realizes that.
We can put it in. We'll put it in. We'll let them vote. We'll let them figure it out.
I mean, we don't have any other choices, Javon. We don't have any other plays, bro.
We don't have any choices, man.
Dodgers -1.5. I bet that should play out well at home. Golly, Javon. Is there a WNBA that could save us tonight, folks?
You tell me. You're the WNBA sharp.
Yeah, they got one game tonight. Looks like Connecticut is laying 5.5 on the road. Sure. Against the Lynx. Yeah, I'm good on that game. Lines aren't really weird at this point. These are all good teams left. I got nothing.
Yeah.
For MLB, though, I mean, are there any player props, any prize pick squares maybe you want to put in here for these? Any plays in Pitt, Chicago, or Milwaukee, St. Louis you want to put in?
I mean, I don't really love anything in either of those games. We could always put Judge over bases in there. I know you like
but why
that.
would you do that?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, if it's your favorite bet, you could put that in there.
Dude, no. No.
I mean, I feel like anything we put in would have to be Yankees or Dodgers related. So I mean, what does it mean, or what is it going to do?
Could lay with the Rays or take something in that game.
I mean, yeah, we could. I don't know what we would take other than just the run line again.
All right, chat. 3 plays, 3 winners for the BTL squad ride today. Yankees ML, Toronto, New York under 7.5, and the Dodgers -1.5. Make your votes count, folks. We need a winner, like we need air. Plain and simple. All right, we need you guys to come through and pick a winner. Click the right button, if you will. It's that simple, folks. It really is. All right? Get your votes in. The poll is up. I don't know what we're screen sharing there. W's, Goots, W's. Looks like we got the poll up here, folks. Get your votes in. We got 3 plays, 3 winners. Javon, this is on you. Dodgers spread. Dodgers spawned in. They started out with a head start.
They spawned in, man. This might be rigged. Might be rigged.
I bet. Nice pick yesterday, chat. Hey, TSO picks. Instead of saying that, how about you get your head out of the gutter and find a winner for today and click the right button, because we're all in this together. And we need a squad ride dub. Okay? We need one like air. Like air. Plain and simple, folks. Get your votes in. Favorite play of the day. Click the right button. He voted Yankees under. Kobe gets it. Kobe gets it.
I definitely voted Yankees.
Okay. So did I. We'll see how that plays out, then. That series price, kind of sketch, but you guys know what happens when I bet the Yankees. Magical powers.
Yeah.
Mando, can we just take the Yanks ML? Mando, get your buddies in here. You got about 5 minutes. Send the link out. Get your buddies in here. Call everybody you know. Call your grandma. Call your mom. Call your parents. Call your sisters. Everybody. Get them in here. Let's get the votes going. All right? Kobe got his shirt with craps. Kobe, did you get your shirt? W's, Cobes.
Dubs.
That's what I'm talking about. Danny will be on the Yanks. That's what I'm talking about. No chance. It was always the Dodgers. I bet. Yankees win 1-0 today, and Dodgers lose by 3 from Davey Martinez's burner. Okay. Chelly Finland hockey picks were free. Let's go, Chell.
Ooh, W Chelly.
We got some Finnish hockey back? Sure.
W Chelly.
Somebody's got to do it. He's low-key sharp. We need to get you an Archer's shirt. Yeah, bro, I'll be there at the championship on Sunday. Archer's Water Dogs. I am so freaking pumped. You know I'm taking my Archers. Underdog. Got to take them. I don't know if I'm going +1.5 or the ML yet, but probably the latter. I trust that squad. Best team. Honestly, best team I've seen overall for an entire season in the PLL this year, the Archers. Maybe not the most stars, but they played the best, and they smacked almost everyone they played. They're the best team I've ever witnessed in the PLL. We got the championship this Sunday, folks, 3 p.m. Eastern. Put it on one of your TVs with NFL, okay? It's going to be electric. Last game of the season, you know who the PLL GOAT is. Archers ML. That's the play. All right. My uncle from my mom's dad's side took the Yankees ML. Great. Thought you were a Redwoods guy. I am 100% a Redwoods guy, but they just got eliminated. So now I got to go with the Archers. All right. Fading Big Cat and PFT, I bet. Yep. Someone's got to do it. Someone's got to do it. Jack, get your votes in. You got about 3 minutes. Let's see where this is at. 85 votes for the Dodgers. Guys, if you're going to pick the Dodgers, can we at least get 100 votes for the winner? I need to see it. I need to see it. Okay. What else, chat? What else we got today?
Yeah, what else? So what? Oh, Castellanos back at dish with 2 tanks.
I bet.
About
Any PP squares we like? Hell yeah, there's some PP squares we like. That Bayo less than 2.5 earned runs. Maybe a little Gunnar Henderson more than 1.5 TBs.
Yep.
Those are some squares we like.
Those are tats.
Yeah. What do you think about that Michael King, a less than 1.5 earned run square that's read out?
It's tough because like it's redded out partially because of usage. Because like he hasn't been going all that long for a majority of the starts this season.
Right.
So, I mean, I like the under because I like the under of the game. I don't want to take it necessarily.
Anytime the Dodgers are in the poll, you should cut their votes by 50. Yeah, that's honestly
Facts. Should get them a handicap.
Jack, get your votes in. Hurry up. If you're watching this on YouTube, come over to the Twitch page. Book It Sports. Get your votes in. The Twitch poll is up in chat. Get your votes in. You got about 2 minutes. Hurry up. Go, 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 go. All right? Get your votes in chat. We got Cave at the dish. He's not doing squats. I already chalked that one up. He ain't doing shit. All right? Got a man on first, though.
Yeah.
Maybe a little base knock in one of the gaps.
See if Castellanos can run.
I think
Spawned
it's
in
Marsh.
2-0.
It's Marsh.
Oh, is it
Base.
Marsh? Oh, it is Marsh. It is Marsh.
All right. Yeah, it could be Trent on his burners on Twitch getting those votes in. And we got Dodgers minus 1.5 for the squad rides. The exact opposite of what I wanted to see for today. But you know what? The way the squad rides have been going, Javon, maybe it's a good thing.
Yeah, maybe it is. Who knows?
Maybe it is. All right. How cold are we right now on the squad rides? This is the coldest we've ever been. And I have to go back and check the Carfax, but pretty sure we've lost 5 out of the last 7 squad rides, which is probably the worst stretch we've ever had.
Marsh at third.
Marsh at third. Come on. Bring him home.
This could be it.
Bring him home. And yeah, when does Bethune-Cookman play? We might have to take that for the vibes this weekend.
Yeah, we're going to have to nuke them again.
Let's hope they keep Lamar Jackson at QB this week. My
Dude,
goodness.
he was the greatest quarterback I've ever seen with 2 eyes.
Literally, bro. Come on, Jake Cave. Bring him home. Bring him home. And yeah, Lieutenant Goose, he gets it. Just means we're due. All right, we're still almost 40 games over 500. 128, 90, and 3. If you guys don't trust the squad ride after a couple tough weeks, you don't know ball. All right, stick with us. Trust the program. And I'm pretty sure we just got an out from Jake Cave. In play, outs. I bet. Cave ground out. He's the worst player in baseball.
Ish.
Oh, all right, chat. Squad ride today, and yes, we are still alive for the Survivor pool, and we will give our picks out probably tomorrow or Friday for the weekend. But chat, stick around for the surgical stream starting up here in a couple minutes. We got Trent, we got a whiteboard, we got the whole Book It squad out there helping on stream, giving them winners. Stick around, all right? Let's cash. We need to find some W slips for today, whether it's on Prize Picks with some W entries or whether it's on the books. We need winners, and we got one with the Dodgers minus 1.5 on the squad ride, folks. We'll catch you on here tomorrow, same time, same place.